James C. Jordan, a cattle farmer from Virginia and one of Iowa's most influential early settlers, built the Jordan House. When Jordan settled the area, he chose a beautiful location with ancient oak, walnut, and hickory trees on land gently sloping to the Raccoon River. Jordan's first shelter was a lean-to tent, which was replaced in 1848 with a log cabin. In 1850, he and his wife Melinda began work on the first phase of the Jordan House. The family, which at that time numbered 6 children, lived for a small time in the basement of the structure, consisting of a small kitchen and a bed or sitting room. About a year later, what turned out to be the first phase of the upper white frame 2-story structure was completed, featuring a magnificent entrance, a center hall with 2 large rooms, a walnut staircase led to the upstairs, and 2 spacious bedrooms. The kitchen remained in the basement. During the antebellum period, fugitive slaves were hidden in the house, as it was a designated stopover on the secret Underground Railroad. Jordan, an abolitionist, was regarded as the chief conductor for Polk County. John Brown stayed at least twice in the Jordan House, once when he was leading a group of 12 slaves to freedom. The house also served as a haven for weary travelers on their westward journeys. Jordan's southern hospitality was apparent, as Uncle Jimmy Jordan's house became known as a comfortable gathering place for local politicians and business leaders. This 1922 photo of Valley Junction is one of several historical items currently being housed at the Jordan House. After the death of his first wife, Jordan married Cynthia Adams, and their family grew to 11 children. In 1870, the house was expanded again with the addition of another parlor, dining room, library, and kitchen. Porches were built on both the east and south sides of the house. A second entrance was also added with a black walnut staircase leading to 6 more bedrooms upstairs. Jordan organized the State Bank of Des Moines, served on the Polk County Board of Supervisors, and was elected to both the Iowa Senate and the House of Representatives. During his time in the legislature, Jordan led the drive to relocate Iowa's state capital from Iowa City to Des Moines. Jordan was also instrumental in bringing the railroad to the Des Moines area. He platted out Valley Junction, thereby founding what is today West Des Moines, and raised $70,000 in his successful effort to establish a railhead on that location, which was coincidentally near his cattle operation. By the turn of the century, over 400 railroad employees and their families were living in Valley Junction, and the railroad was a dominant force in the early history of the city. Born March 4, 1813, he grew up on a farm in an area where slavery was ingrained in the economy and culture. So it was only natural when Jordan was in his teens that he would join a party hunting for escaped slaves from a neighboring plantation. According to the history of Des Moines and Polk County, Iowa, these people, men, women, and children, with hungry, pinched faces, sad, longing eyes, bleeding feet, ragged clothing, were quietly caught while most of them were trying to pray for deliverance, and despite their pitiful pleadings, were marched back to their master's home and to their lowly life of servitude. With the unpleasant experience fresh in his mind, Jordan moved west when he was 19, first to Michigan for several years, and then to western Missouri, where he learned the cattle business. He moved to Iowa in 1846 when the territory was opened to settlement, and quickly rose in prominence as a farmer and a livestock businessman. He also gained prominence in state and local politics, first as a Whig and later as a Republican, serving several terms in the Iowa legislature and on Polk County Board of Supervisors. He was elected to the Iowa Senate in 1854, representing a district that stretched from Polk County to southwest Iowa. He was re-elected in 1856, his senatorial term spanning the first 4 years of the Underground Railroad in Iowa. Jordan's religious beliefs as a zealous Methodist led him into an active role in Iowa's abolitionist movement. Abolitionists were in the minority in Iowa in the 1850s, and aiding to the escape of slaves was fraught with danger and the risk of prosecution and loss of wealth and property. In the winter of 1858, John Brown's raiders attacked Fort Scott near the Missouri border in southeast Kansas, the seat of pro-slavery hostility, and then raided several Missouri farms. A detailed account of the raids and the raiders' flight from Missouri through Kansas, Nebraska, and Iowa is included in John Brown and His Men by Richard J. Hinton, an abolitionist who rode with John Brown. The house remained in the Jordan family for almost a century. In 1947, it was sold to the Church of Nazarene and became part of its summer campgrounds. In 1978, the West Des Moines Historical Society purchased the Jordan House and began its renovation as a period home and to create a museum for West Des Moines.